The 2026 NFL Draft is officially here. No more arguments, no more debates, certainly no more mock drafts. Just names on a card read at a podium being added to this Jets roster, and we don't have to wait long for the Jets to make their first selection. I'm fired up for this one. It's the very first DT Draft Watch Along. Thank you all for being here. It starts right now.
Bring that here, all right? Go out there and press them and choke them out.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome into the very first DT Draft Watch Along. I appreciate every single person for being here throughout the night. The plan is to go up to and through both of the Jets' first-round picks, both 2 and 16. Hopefully, we have some film cut-ups already prepared for the people that are going to be drafted at those picks. I know I have a ton of David Bailey. I have some Arvell Reese, all 22, anticipating one of those being the pick at number 2. But then I have a couple wide receivers as well, all 22 cut-ups that I have for 16, if those are the picks. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button on your way into the room. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are less than 60 subscribers away from 2,000. And when we hit 2,000, we are giving away our signed Curtis Martin mini helmet to one lucky listener. So how that works is normally $5 super chats would get you one entry, 10 would be 2. But in honor of the New York Jets having 2 first-round picks tonight, we are doubling all super chats for this stream. So a $5 super chat will get you 2 entries, 10 will now get you 4, etc. Gifted memberships are now worth 2 spots on the wheel. So just a big thank you to everybody tuning in to this first ever DT Draft Watch Along. I didn't have my channel last year during the draft. Right after the draft is when I pivoted, moved away from Jet Nation and started my own channel. So, and a lot of that had to do with the success that Jake and I had last year on his night 2 stream, which we are going to run it back tomorrow night on his channel, all 4 or 5 hours, regardless if the Jets pick in the 3rd round. So it's kind of like a full circle moment, right? I was on with Jake last year for the draft night 2, and now I'm able to be here on my own channel with you guys for night 1 of the draft. In case anybody forgets what picks the Jets do have, tonight they have number 2 overall, number 16 overall, but then they also hold 33 and 44 in tomorrow night's portion of the draft, rounds 2 and 3. Is there a sneaky suspicion that the Jets could come back up into round 1 for a 3rd selection tonight? Perhaps maybe Ty Simpson. I know that seems to be the buzz, whether it's the Jets or the Cardinals trying to come back into the later portion of round 1 to get Ty Simpson. I think the Jets are probably going to stick and pick just 2 guys. Maybe they don't pick at 16 exactly. Maybe they trade up. Maybe they trade back. But I am anticipating and expecting 2 selections for the Jets tonight. I would be really shocked if they traded out of 16 and, to the point where they don't have a first round pick. And obviously I don't think they're going to move out of 2. I know they would probably like to move out of the 2nd overall pick, but I just don't see it in the cards for somebody to come up and swap picks with them, whether it's 4 or 5, maybe even 8 or 9 with the Chiefs or Saints. I don't anticipate the Jets moving around. What I did want to do before the draft starts, and to give everybody a free chance to earn a spot on the wheel for the Curtis Martin helmet, if you put into the chat the 2 names that you predict the Jets are going to draft tonight, whether it's Reese or Lemon or Bailey and Cooper, right? Just put the 2 names that you think the Jets are taking tonight. We're going to close. We're not going to take answers after 8:05 because that would be too close to when the Jets are picking at number 2, in my opinion. So by 8:05, if you put in 2 names of the players that you think the Jets are going to get tonight and you are correct with those names. It doesn't have to be at 16. It could be, in a trade up or whatever. So, for example, M. Fritz is already in. He says Reese and Cooper Jr. So, if Reese and Cooper Jr. are the picks and you comment that in, whoever those are, by 8:05, I will star the chat and I will give you a free raffle entry for the Curtis Martin helmet. So a nice little fun game to get everybody involved in the raffle. Our brother Black Gypsy, what's up, man? I appreciate you. He gifted a membership to the A1 since day one community. So Black Gypsy is in for 2 more on the wheel. Thank you so much, Black Gypsy. I appreciate it. I'm thinking, and I'm trying to plan ahead here. I don't know if I'll get to 2,000 subscribers by next Tuesday when I have Will Parkinson of Turn on the Jets and Badlands on to recap the Jets draft. But I am thinking Tuesday I'm going to give the helmet away because we're going to be close to the 2,000 subscriber mark anyway. And I really, I don't want to make a ton of money on this helmet. That was not the purpose of me doing the giveaway. And I feel like I've hit a threshold of entries where I'm already grateful enough and I want to give the helmet away sooner rather than later. I'm tired of looking at it under my desk because eventually it might end up on this back wall here. I'm just kidding. But I do think Tuesday will be the final, that will be the raffle day. So if we do a show between now and Tuesday, maybe Monday with Buffalo Jet Fan on my channel, that would probably be the last day to get super chats and gifted memberships in to earn a spot. So just a little bit of a heads up that we're coming down to the wire here in terms of when we're going to do the giveaway. All right, I see a bunch of comments already popping in. Charleston Jetsrube, what's up? I appreciate you. Bill M. Black Gypsy eliminated himself by picking Caleb Downs. I'm just kidding. I mean, that would be great. If Caleb Downs slipped to 16 or they, come up a little bit and take Caleb Downs, I could not be mad at that whatsoever. Let's see. 6 Rings is in here. We got Hawk in here. I appreciate you, Hawk. Ooh, I like Hawk's pick. Reese and Ioane. That would be great. So I would assume, the run on wide receivers happened. The Jets don't feel comfortable taking wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 off the board, and they go Vega Ioane from Penn State. That would be an A+ draft, in my opinion, especially not having to move up for that guy because I feel like Ioane might be gone by that pick, but there's still a good chance. And that's kind of the whole thing with 16 for me is what is the pivot point off of wide receiver? Because we know that the Jets need a front 7 player on their defensive line particularly, and then they want a wide receiver or a pass catcher to go along with Garrett Wilson. I don't think they're in the Kenyan Sadiq market. I think it would be fun. I just don't foresee it happening. But what is the pivot point, right? Is Omar Cooper being on the board at 16 enough for them to want to take him off the board? If the 4 wide receivers are gone, do they go up and get, wide receiver 5 and Denzel Boston or KC Concepcion at 16 without trading back? Where is the pivot point to going at a different position? So I see Roger Goodell at the podium. I believe he is opening up the NFL draft as we speak, which means the Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock. I don't think this pick is going to be a quick one. I think the media is going to tell them, last the whole time, the whole 8 minutes, put the card in at the very end of the pick, gain a little bit of last-second suspense, even though this is probably the most boring first-round pick or first overall pick selection since, maybe Trevor Lawrence in 2021. So we will see the Jets on the clock in about, I want to say 7 to 9 minutes from right now. So there are a couple minutes left to get in. I'll give you guys about 2 minutes left to enter with the 2 players you think the Jets are going to get. And if you guess them correctly, you will get 1 free entry on the wheel. Oh, he's introducing a couple Steelers. Yeah, Bill M., I think you are a little bit ahead. I could also be behind. This is just NFL.com, their free stream of, well, I guess it's not free through NFL Plus, but it's an NFL Plus live stream. So it's not like YouTube TV or anything like that. I will say, and I don't want to have to, police this too hard. Let's try not to tip picks, looking on Twitter and things of that nature. I think a lot of people like the suspense of seeing it live read at the podium. I certainly do, especially with the Jets pick. I don't want to like get it spoiled a couple minutes early. So please no tipping of the picks. I know those people that, you know, watch Connor Hughes live tweet through the draft. He's always spoiling picks. So just not my thing. I'm not going to, you know, crush you guys for it in the chat, but I definitely don't like tipping the picks. So we'll wait and watch it all together. I have the draft coming through my headphones. I don't want to get, you know, any issues from Mr. YouTube for having any of the audio picked up on my feed. Looks like they're introducing a bunch of Steelers wide receivers, or not wide receivers, but legends. I see Hines Ward there. So we're getting very close to it. I'm actually a little nervous for the pick. Not because I think I'm going to be wrong with Arvell Reese versus David Bailey. Truly, I don't care. And as our guy Gus Toon says, what's up, man? He says, just make the right pick. That's really what it comes down to for me. It's just make the right pick. I'm more nervous that the Jets are going to get it wrong than I am they're going to take a guy I didn't want. And to be honest, it's not that I don't want David Bailey. I can just see the possibilities of Arvell Reese helping this defense in multiple different ways. And I think that that's more important to the Jets right now. Like, let's be honest, they're not adding wins like to a crazy degree with the Jets. You're probably getting a quarter of a win, a third of a win based on just one front seven rookie. So like the rookie quarterbacks don't move the needle that much, you know, maybe a couple games, a game and a half, 2 games, 2.5 games at most, you're moving the needle in terms of like the overall season projection. So like, what is a rookie front seven defender really going to do? Like, just get the player you feel the most confident in, the player with the developmental plan that you feel the most confident in, and don't worry about drafting scared, drafting to save jobs. That's just a very half-assed process, and flawed processes lead to flawed results. We've seen that way too many times over with this Jets team. 116 of you guys in the room. I certainly appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you are new to the channel. We are in the middle of our Curtis Martin raffle giveaway. One other thing I did want to talk about, and it's kind of like a fun little like thing to keep tabs on throughout the draft, is I have some over-unders for players, number of position players taken at each position in the first round specifically. So I tried to make this as close to 32 as possible. So if you take all these as whole numbers, right, if the under hits on all of these by the exact number, that would be 32. So I tried to find out like, you know, a good, you know, dispersion, I guess, of all the picks. So over under 1.5 quarterbacks. Obviously, Fernando's going to go 1. It's just a matter, does Ty Simpson go, 21 to the Steelers, maybe 16 to the Jets, even though it's very, very unlikely. Do the Cardinals trade back in? So I have the quarterbacks at 1.5. Running backs at 1.5, same thing. Jeremiah Love. Does Jadarian Price sneak in to the back end of round 1? I would probably go the under with the running backs. Wide receivers, I have a 5.5 over under. So, you're talking Lemon, Tate, Tyson, Cooper Jr., one of Denzel Boston, Casey Concepcion, Jeremy Bernard, Chris Brazzell, and then can you get to one more to get to 6? So 5.5 wide receivers in the first round. 1.5 tight ends. Is it Kenyan Sadiq and Kenyan Sadiq only? Or do you get a second tight end, perhaps Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt sneaks in? Offensive linemen, I didn't break it up from tackles to guards. I have 8.5 offensive linemen. I'm not going to read off all the names. I feel like we know most of them. Maui Noah, Fano, maybe Caleb Lomu sneaks in there, Ioane, who we talked about before. Defensive line, so that's both edge and defensive tackle, I put at 9.5. I think it's probably going to be 6, maybe 7 edge rushers and then 2 or 3 defensive tackles. So that's how I got to 9.5 there. Linebackers, this is not counting Arvell Reese. I put him in the defensive line category with the edges. Linebackers, so this would be Sonny Styles. And then do you get a second off-ball linebacker, whether it's C.J. Allen, Jacob Rodriguez, maybe even Anthony Hill. Cornerback, I have at 4.5. I know Jermod McCoy is a little iffy right now, but Colton Hood is sneaking up there. Chris Johnson is sneaking up there. Mansour Delane is pretty much the only real lock to go in the first round. And then safety, I have it at 2.5. I was going to go 3.5, but I felt this was, that would have been a little too easy. So 2.5. You have Downs, Dylan Thieneman, and then Emmanuel McNeil-Warren as the three possible guys there. So we'll keep tabs on this throughout the night. But these are some of my over-unders for the first round of the draft. Christopher in the chat, I appreciate you, man. He says, are you planning on streaming rounds 2 and 3 of the draft? So I don't think it'll be streamed to my channel directly. I have to talk to Jake about that and see what the plan is. But we are going to be on his channel for the entirety of night 2 tomorrow on his channel, whether it's 4.5, 5 hours. If you remember, we did that last year. If you weren't around, obviously that's completely fine. But we did the same thing last year. We did the night 2 on his channel. So perhaps we'll multi-stream it to my channel as well. And then we can also keep the raffle going on my channel if that's the case. But it is certainly going to be on Jake's channel. So at Jake Asman on YouTube is where you can find that. Let's see. Taylor. Oh, man. Yeah, there's not really enough smoke in the world either that can call me on draft weekend. And I'm going to have a hard time sleeping for most of this weekend just because I'm so amped up, especially knowing that we hold pick 33. I'm just going to be so amped up to figure out who the pick is tomorrow. But I do have to work tomorrow and Saturday, which is just absolutely abysmal for your boy. So I have to work tomorrow, and then I have like a half day-ish on Saturday. I get to leave at like 11 o'clock, come back, and hopefully get ready for day 3 of the draft. I think that starts at noon. I hope it doesn't start at 11. I hope it starts at noon on Saturday. But now that I'm thinking about it out loud, I have a feeling it might start at 11 a.m. on Saturday and go to 7 p.m. So I'll have to adjust and tell my boss I got to get out early. It's the only like football event because I don't work Sundays generally. I work like 2% of Sundays throughout the year. So like a Jets football game, I never have to take off work for. And I'm not one of those people that take off for like your birthday or things like that. But the NFL draft, if I can get off work, I will do my best. But unfortunately, it didn't line up right now. Looks like the Raiders pick is in. I see that in the chat. Bill M says our pick now. I mean, who do we think, guys? I'm excited. I think it's still Reese. I think he ended as like a minus 200 something odds to be the pick. So truthfully, I am anticipating Arvell Reese being the pick as we see Goodell walk to the podium. But my expectation is that it's going to be Reese and that the Jets have known for quite a while, at least the last week and a half. And there it is. Fernando Mendoza, 1 overall to the Vegas Raiders. Again, if you guys just hopped in here, 138 of you guys in the room, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are not in the business of tipping picks on the stream. I would appreciate it if you guys didn't try to jump in and be first to announce the pick. We'll just all watch and listen live as they announce each pick. Fernando celebrating with his family. Good for Fernando. I hope it works out for him, man. Black Gypsy. I forgot all about that last night. Gus Toon with the 2 pound. Is that a pound? Shit. I think it's a pound. 2 pound super chat. Go Jets. Go DT. Now go get Reese. Absolutely, Gus. I appreciate you as always, brother. Gus is across the pond, so he has stayed up extra long to watch this draft. So shout out and kudos to all the across the pond Jets fans that are watching this at like 3 a.m. You guys are as dedicated as they come. The Raiders picked Kirk Cousins. Yeah. Imagine that. They have a carbon copy of who they already just signed in free agency. But it's going to be a great room for them. Admittedly, that's the room I would love for the Jets. And quite frankly, Clint Kubiak as well. I mean, not really sour grapes, but that was what I would have predicted if the Jets had the number 1 overall pick. Has nothing to do with his football abilities, but every time Mendoza talks, I just want to laugh. He's just a goofy guy, but he's just like a happy-go-lucky goofy, and it's amazing to see. 144 of you guys in the room. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Super chats are double tonight, so 5 is 2 on the wheel, 10 is 4 on the wheel, etc. All right, Jets on the clock. 3.5 minutes already left in the pick, so we're breezing by. This 8-minute pick window is so much better than the 15-minute window where the picks would just drag on and on. Oh, man. It's got to be Arvell Reese, right? I mean, it could be David Bailey. I feel like it was too much coordinated smoke around Bailey for me to feel like it was actually a fait accompli, as it was once said. Jets Johnny, I know you don't like the guy, but it's not silly. It's a quarterback-driven league. He's really the only one there to take. It makes sense. He just led, Indiana on an undefeated national championship run, won the Heisman on the way. So I think it's well-deserved for Fernando. The pick is in for the Jets. Let's go. All right. We're going to pack the Puffco for this one because it's the Jets pick. Joel Klatt saying it's David. Oh, he's saying what the pros and cons of both are. I think the pick for a lot of reasons should be Reese. I don't understand the narrative of saving jobs with David Bailey. Anybody watching on NFL Network sees Lou B and Boy Green and a bunch of other super Jets fans chanting at the draft. That's quite awesome to see those boys out there. Shout out to them. Lou B and the Jeremiah Love dream dies. It dies tonight, unfortunately. Six rings is not how this works. I'm sorry. 250 is not a doubled. It's just the number of raffles that is doubled. So no, unfortunately, it does not. Well, let's see what your super chat said. I like Bailey spelled wrong more. He gives you sacks, tackles, etc. Well, I mean, Arvell Reese technically gives you sacks and tackles, etc., just in a very different looking way. Oh, that's Juicy Jet, Gus? Okay, cool. Black Gypsy, yeah, I saw them. They were right up on the screen. Here comes Goodell. All right, let's see. Wow, so after all of that, with the canceled 30 visit, David Bailey getting the GM's name wrong, calling him Monty yesterday. He is the pick. That is certainly a surprise. Again, I'm going to give the Jets the benefit of the doubt that they believe in David Bailey over Arvell Reese. I just don't understand the process of getting here. So we'll wait and see what Aaron Glenn and Muji say after the post round 1 press conference that they'll do later tonight. But hey, the Jets get a designated pass rusher in David Bailey, somebody that's going to be in a rotation of guys with Joseph Asai, Kingsley Enagbare, Will McDonald. Now David Bailey enters the fold. 14.5 sacks last year, 59 pressures, I believe, which was only second to Ruben Bain in college last year. Went from Stanford to Texas Tech after 3 years, and he is the newest member of the New York Jets. So yeah, I can't agree with this yet, Villette. I want to hear the process, but I think that it's just so weird how we got here. It is just such a weird road to get us to David Bailey. We'll see what they elect to do with David Bailey on first and second down. We'll see what they elect to do with Will McDonald. I think they're going to pick up his fifth-year option. It makes sense to pick it up. But now you have two, fastballs coming off the edge. And this brings up another point. As Gus says, LOL, Todd McShay got it right. A lot of people in the last 2 weeks that pivoted to Bailey got it right. Now, we have to take back all the praise that we gave the Jets in terms of there's no leaks in the building. Nobody knows what the Jets are ever doing. Every single person knew what the Jets were doing 2 weeks ago from a national perspective. So one way or another, as you see everybody in the Jets war room standing except for Rick Spielman, we have leaks. We have leaks in the building. Like there's no doubt about that. Somebody is clearly giving the Jets, information out, and it's good information, clearly. Let's see, David's talking on the screen now. Those Jets draft hats are so sick. All right, Bailey's going to come in and be a sponge. You like to hear that? Oh, and now he's signing the first ever David Bailey trading card. That's pretty cool. All right. So David Bailey, 6'3", 251, ran a 4.5. I have some clips that I will pull up on the fly here. I don't think anybody gets a free raffle entry. Unfortunately, everybody said Reese. Yeah, nobody said David Bailey. If to be honest, I would have said David Bailey, of course, too. So, Gypsy, this is a strong possibility. This is a strong possibility. Villette, what was Osai for? Well, Osai is still the oldest guy in the room at the position. I think he's definitely a versatile piece, even though he probably leans more pass rush. So, I mean, they got two guys on relatively cheaper deals as just kind of stopgap options. Grinch says, I can't believe it. Yeah, I'm shocked too. This is a little bit shocking. all the fake draft gurus were wrong. Yeah, a lot of people got it wrong. And shout out to all the people that, pivoted to Bailey. Peter Schrager was on David Bailey right away. Gypsy, I agree with this. Downs is my number one player on the board. Now, the question becomes, does Arizona trade out of 3 with Arvell Reese on the board? No, the pick is in. So there was a lot of smoke that they were trying to get out of this pick. It's either Reese, Love, or maybe Maui Noah. I would say those may be the 3 names. But this is definitely an interesting point in the draft with Arvell Reese still on the board. Does a team want to come up and grab him? All right, let me pull some David Bailey clips for us to look at. Let's see. 163 you guys in the room. Please hit the like button. Subscribe if you are new. David Bailey, the latest member of the New York Jets at 2 overall. Designated pass rusher. Seems like the Jets have a plan to hopefully increase his abilities as a run defender. Roger Goodell is coming to the screen now for the Arizona Cardinals pick at 3. So the Titans and Robert Saleh are on the clock at number 4. And the Cardinals take Jeremiah Love at 3. So they do similar things to what the Raiders did last year with Ashton Genty, a team that hasn't made the playoffs, taking a running back in the top 10 of the draft, this case the top 5. But Jeremiah Love is arguably one of the best offensive weapons in this entire draft. He was my number 3 player on my board. It was Downs, Styles, Love, Reese, Lemon. Those were my top 5. So Jeremiah Love, technically the highest player off my board. Let's see what we got here. I got David Bailey. Here's a clip. Play here. So we got David Bailey on the left side of your screen here, almost out of frame. First of all, elite get up in terms of his uniform. No gloves, no wristbands, no tape, no ankle tape, just like mid-high socks, some low-top cleats, and like no swag is the most swag with David Bailey, which is kind of hilarious when you watch him on tape. Great bend. So this play was wonky, but essentially David Bailey using his bend, his ankle flexion to get after the quarterback here. Makes the quarterback step up right here. Look at this ankle flexion from David Bailey. Gets super low, avoids the hands of the left tackle, dips that left shoulder really hard. Obviously gets pushed off his arc a slight bit, but scares the quarterback enough to step up into this pocket. He's going to get sacked. I believe this is Lee Hunter who has him in the grasp, and he just throws it away. Ends up being a backwards pass, and David Bailey, heads up play, at least hops on it, recovers the fumble for the Red Raiders. I just love the first step explosiveness is the first thing that pops off. I'm not going to claim to know who number 71 is right here in this situation, who this left tackle is. But this is just stuff you can't really teach, is that bend, that arc, that explosiveness. And then as long as you get the quarterback to step off his spot, step up into pressure and make a mistake, you're doing your job, in my opinion. So that's the first one of David Bailey. I have a couple more. I'll try to go through the best ones that I have here. Here's a speed rush for a sack. Here he is lined up right on the Capital One logo, going up against the right tackle. This against Oregon and Dante Moore. Boom, using that speed again. Just gets right past him. Puts Dante Moore on his back. You can see what the Jets like in David Bailey. Like, it's very clear. And if you think about what Muji had in Denver, right? Jonathan Cooper, Nick Benito. This is kind of what you're getting. That ankle flexion right here. Boom. Gets his pads low. Gets away from the hands of the right tackle. Sheds off him extremely quickly. Dante Moore is barely able to get to the back of his drop. And he ends up on his back for a huge loss. So you can definitely see what David Bailey brings to the table. I'm just so intrigued to know what the Jets' process is of making this pick, why they didn't go Arvell Reese, what their developmental plan is for David Bailey, but I completely understand it. Let's see what else we got. Another forced fumble, showing off his bend. Here he is over the right tackle here, wide alignment. Boom. yeah, just you see his toes just drag in the turf, and he creates a fumble. Obviously, the quarterback is able to fall back on it. But this right here, this is just extremely talented stuff from David Bailey. You can't be mad at this if you're a Jets fan. I get it. A lot of people wanted Reese, but like to me, to keep that balance while your right knee is nearly like scraping across the turf, you pop back up and you force a fumble there. That's extremely impressive stuff. See, Gypsy, this is what scares me. Um, is that they want somebody who can play right away and quote unquote save their jobs. I don't think that's the business they should be operating in whatsoever. Gus, yeah, if Robert Saleh doesn't take Arvell Reese here, I'd be surprised, especially with Jeremiah Love off the board. The pick is in at number 4, so the Giants are on the clock at number 5. Yeah, man, I'm nervous about that, Gypsy, for sure. That makes me the most nervous, and that's why I want to hear what they have to say after the press conference, because you talk about Aaron Glenn and him calling the defense and the way he talked about Arvell Reese. It just, what is the plan for Bailey? Let's see who the Titans get. All right, Carnell Tate, come on down to Nashville, Tennessee. A bit of a surprise here. A great pick, in my opinion. I thought, if they were going to go offense, it should be Love or Tate. But Cam Ward and Carnell Tate, I don't know, man. I think it could be fun. I think it could work out. Who knows what kind of, overall coaching job Saleh is going to do. But you have Daboll, Cam Ward, Carnell Tate. They still have Alec Omanor from last year, Chimere Dike from last year as well. I mean, this is a fun pick for the Titans. Surprised that Saleh didn't go Arvell Reese. Yeah, Black Gypsy. Yeah, man. They got to take Arvell Reese here, right? Do they take Reese over Styles? And if you're the Jets, are you calling to get back up for Arvell Reese? That's crazy. The Giants, they love Styles. They love Downs, apparently. But they also really like Arvell Reese. And I don't think they saw a scenario where Arvell Reese was here. Yeah, Gus, this is the NFL Plus stream right on their website. So I have no control. And I'm sure the commercial breaks are slightly longer on this one, so it might make me a little bit delayed. Gypsy, I think Muji's going to be making phone calls. So hypothetically, the Giants go Jordan Tyson here. They take the second wide receiver off the board in the top 5. Do the Jets get nervous and call up for Cooper or Lemon in that situation, or do they hold tight, hope that Cooper or maybe Boston is there for them? We got to see. I mean, maybe they bypass wide receiver altogether in this situation, but first wide receiver off the board at 4 certainly could start a run here. Maybe not so much with the Giants. It could be with the Giants. Jordan Tyson, yes. But then what do the Browns do in that situation? Because they were linked to Carnell Tate. So we'll see if the run happens at wide receiver. But this is a fun pick for the Titans. I think this is a really good pick for them. Probably my favorite pick so far early on in this draft. All right, 178 of you guys in the room. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are on pick 5. I can see the Jets on the bottom ticker here, coming up at 16. Maybe a little bit sooner. We'll see. But this is exciting so far. Let's see. I got a couple more, I think, David Bailey clips I can pull up. Let's see. All right, here he is playing against the run. Chase down tackle. He's over the right tackle here. Looks like they're all sliding to the left here, some kind of zone run. He's unblocked on the zone toss to the left as you see him coming free, right side. And he's going to make an extremely athletic chase down tackle on the running back. So he's not a complete dud against the run. I've been trying to say that, he can be effective against the run. I just get worried because in this situation, you don't have any hands going on him from the offensive lineman. So in this situation, if the line is sliding to the right and you're getting, 2, maybe 3 hands from offensive linemen on you in this situation, what is it going to look like? But he's showing off his speed here, chase down tackle on the backside against the running back. So not a complete dud against the run, David Bailey is. So Giants pick is in. Feels like this 8-minute clock is a lot better than the 15-minute clock. Salah is throwing up in the bathroom. Yeah, the offensive bald guy won in Brian Daboll getting Carnell Tate. It feels like it, Gypsy. I really think, the late mock drafts from like Daniel Jeremiah, signaling a potential trade for the Jets moving up. Is it for Jordan Tyson? I mean, the Giants pick is in and it could be Jordan Tyson. They also have pick number 5. Do the Jets try to get ahead of that? Whoa, we have a trade. Kansas City traded from 9 to 6 with Cleveland, according to the ticker. So Kansas City is now on the clock at 6. And Cleveland is on the board at 9. They didn't announce it, so I don't think it's just a typo. But maybe somebody on Twitter has already alerted. I'm trying not to even look at my phone to get any picks spoiled, but I am going to look. Okay, so the Chiefs traded 9, 74, and 141 overall in exchange for 6. So they come up 3 spots. They give a 3rd-round pick and a 4th-round pick or early 5th-round pick. All right, so Kansas City on the clock at number 6 now. Okay, 148, excuse me. They fixed the tweet. So a 3rd and a 5th to come up 3 spots. Billy says Cleveland to take Simpson here. I don't think so. I think now that they have a couple extra picks, they're probably going to get an offensive tackle, if I had to guess. Yeah, Thunderlips, I got the details now. I appreciate you. Yeah, it wasn't a huge trade up at this point. Oh, the pick got spoiled. Damn it. I looked at my phone for 3 minutes and the Chiefs pick gets spoiled. I know the Chiefs pick, but I don't know the Giants pick. Oh, gosh. All right. I'm still at commercial with the Giants pick. No, Thunderlips, I'm not tipping any picks. I don't want to tip picks. I just happened to look at my phone. I was checking the compensation on the trade up, and I saw the Chiefs pick. Still haven't seen the Giants pick, though. I think it's going to be Reese or Tyson. But then why did KC move up? Is it for a pass catcher? If the Giants go defense, maybe, I don't know. It's a tough one. Knowing that they have 10, it's a tough one. Okay. Yeah, Thunder. I think that this stream is more than 3 minutes behind some of the faster streams here. But I also hate the people that tip picks on Twitter. 200 of you guys in the room. Thank you all so much. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I certainly appreciate it. On the road to 2,000, where we are giving away the Curtis Martin signed mini helmet. Super Chats, 5 is 2 entries tonight. 10 is 4. Gifted memberships are worth double for the Jets having 2 first-round picks. And here's the Giants selection. And the Giants get Arvell Reese. So they didn't anticipate Arvell Reese being there. They were going to probably go Styles or Downs. I have a lot of Giants fan friends back home who are certainly going to be happy about that pick, I think. I think that's a good fit. This is a hardball type of pick in Arvell Reese, in my opinion. Yeah. Daniel Jeremiah says it. Embarrassment of riches with that front 7 in New York. I understand they lost Dexter Lawrence, but good God. The Giants might have a really high-powered defense here. If Jackson Dart can stay healthy, the Giants are potentially making some competitive noise in 2026. And they still have pick number 10. So we'll see if they go offense or if they, go back and double up on defense. If they got Reese and Styles, oh my goodness, or Reese and Downs, that'd be insane. So we won't have to watch Arvell Reese from afar. He goes across town to the Giants. And the top 5 is Mendoza, Bailey, Love, Tate, Reese. I don't think there's any mock draft challenges that had all 5 of those picks correct. I would be very, very surprised. All right. Chiefs on the clock. I do know who the pick is. I'm not going to spoil it. So technically, in my mind, Washington is on the clock at 7. This felt like the first point of entry for the Jets to trade back in to round 1, or to trade up in round 1, in my opinion. The next spot, I think, would be 12 with Dallas, if Dallas wanted to, gain some draft capital that they don't have this year. I know there was a lot of smoke about Dallas wanting to trade up, but would Dallas want to move back 3 spots? You jump the Rams and potentially Baltimore and take a wide receiver at 12. All right. Let's see what else we got in the chat here. Appreciate every single person for tuning in. First ever draft live stream on the channel, so I certainly am grateful for everybody tuning in here. I know there's so many different streams and things going on. Some people needed to bust out like a 3rd or 4th monitor and computer screen to fit in all the content, so I certainly appreciate everybody. Jets really are the little brothers. We'll see how it goes, man. I want to give the Jets the benefit of the doubt for right now on David Bailey, but I'll be completely honest. If they come out tonight and they give their reasoning behind Bailey and it's immediate production and this and that, then I will be a little weary of it. Not saying I don't think David Bailey can be a good player. I also think some of the comps that we were talking about with these players was a little too much, right? We put lofty expectations on these guys and we compare them to like the best of the best at their position. Like, I don't think any of these guys is Von Miller or really even Aiden Hutchinson or Trayvon Walker. So let's just let it all play out. We still have 2 or 3 years before we even know if these guys are the right player for the Jets. So this is going to be the interesting one, is what do they do with Will McDonald's 5th-year option? I think he plays on it, and then maybe they just don't re-up the contract, and then he's gone in 2027 or 2028. Talking about the Chiefs trade up right here. Rappaport says could be a tackle. Maybe it could be a tackle. Washington's pick is in, and it seemed like they took the whole time to pick. So the Saints at 8 are on the clock. Perhaps Commanders were trying to trade out. And perhaps they were not able to trade out. All right, I'll read that as soon as this selection comes down, Gus. Thank you. I see your super chat. Mansour Delane to the Kansas City Chiefs. So they lose a corner in free agency. They trade a corner to the Rams. And then at 6 overall in a trade up, they give up a third round pick and a 5th round pick to go up and get Mansour Delane, cornerback from LSU. I think it's a great pick. Gus says, $5 super chat here. Get my hat in the ring for that C-Mart lid. Go Jets. Go DT. Thank you so much, Gus. Let's throw your name on the wheel right now. And we have to put Gypsy's 2 in there. So we got Gus for 2 and Gypsy for 2. All right. And it looks like Commanders are on the clock. My stream just completely crapped out. So we're going to refresh. I think Washington was trying to trade out of the pick, and they took like their entire 8 minutes trying to get the trade off. Probably weren't liking what the offers were to move out of 7. So I think they're going to stick and pick. We still have Downs on the board. We still have Reese on the Styles on the board. Jordan Tyson still on the board here. Do they go Mekhi Lemon even if they want to go wide receiver? We'll see. But the Commanders pick is in, and the Saints at 8 are on the clock. I mean, we can't say fully that he can't develop players, but I have to wait to see what the answer is. Now, if they're talking around the answer because they don't want to talk about development with David Bailey, but there is development that needs to be had with David Bailey. He's just a pro-ready pass rusher. Like, there's development in the run game to make him an every down player. Like, you just picked him 2 overall. He has to be on the board or on the field more often than he's not. And Will McDonald, I think, was only like a 33% snaps player in his rookie year. Like, that can't be David Bailey at 2. But yeah, I agree. This draft is certainly weird so far. Matt Miller of ESPN said he predicted 8 trades, and he wasn't sure if that was enough in round 1. I like this one, Grinch. I think Washington takes Bain. That would be a really good one. Christopher, that was my issue talking about it with a couple people leading up to the draft. Are the Jets fans going to be happy with the actual Jets draft, considering how many mock drafts we've been doing since October? Like, we shall see. It never goes the way anybody expects it to go, but this year specifically feels particularly weird. Leo, yeah. The only thing that would save us is David Bailey going equally or more crazy for us in Florham Park. But those 2 guys are going to be linked forever, at least in like Jets fans' minds. There's always going to be people that circle back and go, Arvell Reese, I told you. I mean, it happens every single year. Yeah, I caught that in the Chiefs war room. All right. They're announcing the Commanders pick now. I don't know, Billy. They were sitting at 9, maybe the Saints, the Commanders were looking at corner. But yeah, it felt a little weird considering the board that was left. Like they probably could have sat at 9 and still got the same player potentially. I thought Mansour was going to go to Miami at 11. That was the spot that felt like a real easy transition for him to go to Jeff Halfley. Damn, my Twitter is blowing up. I just looked down. I had over 80 notifications on Twitter. Nope. Can't do it right now. The Commanders get Sonny Styles. They lose Bobby Wagner. They get Sonny Styles. Yeah, another Buckeye off the board. Reese, Tate, now Sonny Styles. Hell yeah, that's a great pick for them. The NFC East could be really competitive this year. Still got the Cowboys with 2 first-round picks. They're always, trying to keep the win now window open. Commanders, if they can stay healthy with Jaden Daniels, they're going to be in it again. They always have a shot. Like we talked about with the Giants, they can make some competitive noise in 2026, surprise some people. And obviously, the Eagles, if they can figure their shit out, it feels like despite all the, shit going on in Philly, for lack of a better word, they managed to pull it out of their ass and still be a double-digit win team. So we'll see what Sirianni can do there. Gypsy has a great pick for Washington. NFC East got 2 dogs in Styles and Reese, that's for sure. All right, New Orleans on the clock, and then it's Cleveland and the Giants to round out the top 10. 217 of you guys in the room. Hit the like button, subscribe if you are new to the channel on the road to 2,000 subs. Let's do a little check-in and see how. Oh, every time I open up a new tab, it crashes the stream. That's interesting. Modern day interneting for you. Let's see where we're at. How many subscribers away from 2,000? 54 subscribers away from 2,000. But like I said, my plan is probably going to be to aim for Tuesday to do the Curtis Martin helmet giveaway. I should be going live Monday with Buffalo Jet Fan on my channel. And then Tuesday, I am going to have Will Parkinson on at 8 p.m. Tuesday, do a full draft recap with him. And I think that episode we will do the helmet giveaway. So you have this show and likely one more. I'll do some kind of pre-recorded content over the weekend, but because I work tomorrow and then I'm on with Jake for 4 or 5 hours tomorrow night, not doing anything live on day 3 of the draft. Plus the Jets are always just going to move around, and I don't want to sit live and hope that they trade into, round 5 or round 6. So I'll do a pre-recorded recap of day 3 on Saturday, and then Sunday, depending on what that looks like, might start a film review for David Bailey, as well as start the film review for whoever the Jets pick at 16. So a little bit of a look ahead at some of the content that's going to come out. Just because the draft is over does not mean that we're done looking at these guys. We're going to break down the all-22 a ton on Bailey, on whoever they pick at 16, 33, and 44. There's a good chance one of those guys is somebody I did not do a full tape study on. Just knowing the draft process and knowing the Jets, and I don't watch every single player. I just watch a lot of the guys that I like. So we'll see. But those top 4 picks are all going to get some kind of film review. Hopefully it's a player I've already watched. It could be Ty Simpson at 33. But I think 44 is probably going to be somebody we're not really thinking about All right, Saints pick is in at 8, which means Cleveland's on the clock at 9. They're cutting a commercial before the pick is in. Sonny Styles just went, so we still have Caleb Downs on the board. I'm interested to see what New Orleans does. I think they can go a couple different ways. They can go Jordan Tyson as well. Let's see the board. Okay. Outside of the Jets taking Bailey, I think Carnell Tate is the biggest surprise to me. Maybe just the fact that they traded up for Mansour Delane is the surprising part of it for the Chiefs, because I think they could have gotten him at 9. But I still think Carnell Tate is a little bit more surprising than that. I really thought Saleh was not going to turn down a front 7 player. Gypsy, if they do this and they get Bailey and Downs, that would be incredible. This is my fear, Gus. I think there's a good chance Lemon is on the board at the 16th overall pick. We'll see for sure. But it looks like so far we're on pace to have at least a good wide receiver that we like there. So hopefully Muji doesn't have to trade up. And hopefully he can just sit and pick at that spot and get the guy he wants anyway. That would be preferred, of course. I'm also in favor of a small trade up if need be. So the Browns just adding a 3rd round pick, top 75 pick. That's huge because the Browns still own 24 from the Jaguars. 39 is their natural 2nd round pick. They now have 74 from the Chiefs. So they have a handful of picks in the top 100 left. So that's good business for the Browns. We'll see who they ultimately take at 9. But I think that was a very wise trade back for Kansas City. Or for Cleveland, excuse me. If the Giants get Reese and Downs, yeah, this would be extremely fun. I don't root for the Giants in nearly any capacity unless they're playing the Patriots in the Super Bowl. But they can make some noise, especially with Reese and Downs. Or if they get Reese and Tyson, I mean, Malik Neighbors and Jordan Tyson is just... Yeah, I thought the Dexter trade was pretty wild earlier. It really feels like the Chiefs, or not the Chiefs, rather, the Bengals want to operate in this win now window, satiate Joe Burrow a little bit, get a player who's going to help them win in the immediate. Maybe the player at 10 they could take could help the team, but they just felt like Dexter was a surefire going to help the roster type of player. Hard to say definitively yet. 6 rings. I want to see what they do at 10, but starting off with Reese at 5 is a great start for them. Georgie calling Cho a chump. That's funny. I'm sure he likes Sonny Styles' pick too. All right. Saints selection coming in. Here comes Goodell. There's the second wide receiver off the board. Jordan Tyson is a New Orleans Saint. So Tyler Shuck gets another pass catcher. Him and Olave. That is the second wide receiver off the board. Is Mooj itching to come up and trade? It would be for Cooper or Lemon, you would assume. I would hope not Denzel Boston. But 2 wide receivers off the board in the top 8. I think of the top 3 receivers, Tyson, Lemon, and Tate, just looking at it from like a wide receiver 1 perspective, Jordan Tyson probably has like the closest to that for a franchise. Like in New Orleans, I don't think Olave is the one. I actually think Jordan Tyson is now the one in New Orleans, where I thought he would be the 1B to Garrett Wilson, where I thought Carnell and Mekhi Lemon would be kind of clearly the wide receiver 2 on that team, or on the Jets team specifically. So Jordan Tyson, man, he can have a hell of a career. Obviously, the health and the injury stuff is really going to follow him until he can prove that he can stay healthy. But we've seen it. We've seen it go both ways. Healthy players in college that never get injured, then they get injured in the NFL. And we kind of see it the other way, too. A lot of injured players in college that, take care of their bodies properly at the NFL level and they avoid those injuries. So having a cool moment here for Jordan Tyson. He breaking down, crying in the hallway. Oh my God, he's got boogers and tears coming down his face. He looks like a sloppy mess, but he looks like a really happy and grateful prospect. I don't know, man. I think Jordan Tyson has that dog in him. He would have been fun in New Orleans. Yeah, there you go, like grenade. The Saints just got Garrett Wilson to pair with Olave. Yeah, they're doing it. Somebody called Jordan Tyson a longer Garrett Wilson. So yeah, that's the word I was looking for, Gus. He had some snots coming down. Oh, look at him watching basketball in the green room, waiting to hear his name called. That's cool. Oh, his brother is Cleveland Cavaliers forward Jalen Tyson. That's cool. 20th overall pick in the NBA draft a couple years ago. I don't follow basketball, so I had no idea, but that's cool. Now you have a brother in the NBA and the NFL. Always love those stories. Just super athletic families. Okay, we're not going slow mo on the snots, but that's cool. I think Tyson's going to be a dog in New Orleans. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure that was a soggy handshake and hug. Oof, that's gonna be rough. But I could not imagine what I would feel like in this moment, like to have all your dreams come true as a kid. That's cool. What a message from Jordan Tyson. Oh shit, Cleveland's pick is in, the Giants pick is in, and Miami has 3 minutes left on the clock in their pick. They're gonna have to hurry up through these picks here. Cleveland pick is in at 9. Once again, please try not to tip the picks in the chat. Getting a look at the war room in Cleveland. This could be offensive tackle. They traded back and they missed out on a wide receiver. So maybe they were really eyeing Carnell Tate and moving back. They get the offensive tackle anyway. Yeah, that's what it sounds like the broadcast is saying. All right, so the Dolphins are on the clock at 11. That means if the Jets wanted to trade up, it would be within the next couple minutes to go up with Dallas. I think at this point they're going to sit tight and wait till 16 because the Giants are guaranteed Caleb Downs because it feels like they're going to take an offensive tackle here in Cleveland. Let's see. Wow, Spencer Fano is the offensive lineman they draft. He is the first offensive lineman off the board. Highly versatile offensive lineman from Utah. Cleveland has a really good player here. 6'5", 311. Won the nation's top interior lineman award. So, he's still going to be fine if he kicks inside to guard. Kind of like Peter Skoronski coming out, right? A lot of people viewed him as a tackle, and the Titans put him at guard. Hell yeah. So the Giants on the clock. Well, the pick is technically in already. I think that's got to be Caleb Downs here at 10. This would really bum me out, Grinch, if the Dolphins took Lemon at 11. I mean, I don't want them to get Caleb Downs at 11, but they could get Ruben Bain, right? They're guaranteed one of Bain or Downs at this point. Maybe they take Francis Mauigoa, the offensive lineman from Miami. They might take Vega Ioane. Giants pick is in. I do too, Grinch. Lemon is my number one wide receiver. I remember telling Jake that I would squeeze lemon juice into my eye if Mekhi Lemon's the pick. So, all right, let's see who the Giants get. Wow, the Giants get Francis Mauigoa, the second offensive lineman off the board. Brother of Kiko Mauigoa, the linebacker from last year, of course. Bit of a surprise pick. I knew he would definitely be in the mix to go, but with Caleb Downs still on the board, man, I did not anticipate Caleb Downs sliding this much. We knew Kyle Hamilton slid a few years ago down to the Ravens. I don't think he gets past, well, he's a safety. Maybe they don't do it, but somebody's getting a really good player. Gypsy, I'm starting to think that there's a chance. But as soon as I think about that, I see who's on the clock. Wow, Dallas just swapped with Miami. So the dream dies here, Gypsy, in my opinion. The dream dies here. I think Dallas just swapped with Miami to take Downs, if I had to guess. Okay, so who did the Cowboys need to trade up? That it has to be Caleb Downs, because Miami would have taken Caleb Downs. Sounded like they gave up a couple day 3 picks to move up one spot. All right. So that's technically the second trade. Let's see if there's one more before the Jets pick. Dallas, Miami, Los Angeles, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and then the Jets. Do they think they can sit tight and get Lemon or Cooper here? I have a strange feeling the Rams are going to take one of the wide receivers. But also, if Vega Ioane is there for the Rams, that's got to be in consideration. Yeah, I think Kiko will make the roster, Grenade, but it is going to be cool to see the Mauigoa brothers both. Mauigoa MetLife takeovers. Oh, he said, I'll die by this shit. Francis Mauigoa is ready to go. The back injury stuff is a little concerning if he has to miss some time, but it's not going to be, jeopardizing his entire rookie season. So Jackson Dart gets some protection, and they also pair him up with Arvell Reese. So that's really interesting. I think the Giants are doing well. All right, let's see what's going on here. They traded 2 fifth-round picks to move up one spot. All right, we're at commercial here. 217 of you guys in the room. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Cisco, I already hate this draft. I can't hate it, right? I knew it was going to be Reese or Bailey. Like, we're past the part of, the real mystery is 16, 33, and 44. They can impress me in so many different ways. If they come back and get Makai Lemon here at 16, we're right back in. Call the get back department, because we will be so back if we get Makai Lemon. I don't want to squeeze lemon juice into my eye, but if we get Makai Lemon at 16, I'm probably going to have to do it. I'm scared that they would take Omar Cooper or Denzel Boston over Makai Lemon, because they passed on JSN once, and I'm not ready for it to happen again. Yeah, Mazy. At what point? At what point do we say we got to get him? Gee, Cisco. I'm not going to put that comment up on the screen, but yeah, we got to watch. We got to watch Reese from the chair. Unfortunately, David Bailey has the chance to, prove us all wrong. And like I said, I don't even think he's a bad player. He's just not my preference. So I'm not going to kill the pick because I disagree with the pick. They took a position I knew they were going to take. You understand the skill set. Just matters what the developmental plan is. Yeah, I think Dallas is going to go down here, Billy. They got to fix the defense. Gypsy, I would be inclined to agree with this, but Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan, coming from Green Bay, where they hadn't taken a first-round wide receiver for like 20-something years, they even directly said that after the trade of Jalen Waddle that they didn't want a room full of sub 6 foot wide receivers. Makai Lemon is 5'11". So I have a feeling that they would go a different direction, but it is definitely in the cards for them to take a wide receiver. Yeah, I was shocked when they took McDonald at 15, passing on JSN. I was so confident that it was going to be JSN to the Jets there, and it was not, unfortunately. Pick is in for Dallas after the trade. I believe Miami's pick is also in, so it seems like the Rams are on the clock at 13. All right. I think Dallas is taking Downs. Gypsy. Yeah, I'm never listening to a mock draft again. It just proves that they're all, at the end of the day, speculation. Jets Rube, dude. If the Jets got Ruben Bain at 16, brother, I'd go crazy. Yep. Cowboys get Downs. Felt like a easy. I'd give up 2 fifth-round picks to move up for Caleb Downs one spot. He doesn't go to Miami, but he goes to Dallas, who the Jets are hate watching to a degree in 2026, owning their or Green Bay's first round draft selection in 27. Between Quinnen and Caleb Downs, the defense in the middle for Dallas has gotten better. Yeah, Gypsy. I agree. Certainly Jets rear man. If they got Bailey and Bain, they would have an embarrassment of riches. That's awesome. The slide falls or the slide ends for Caleb Downs here at 11 overall. They said Miami's pick is in, so the Rams are on the clock. Only 3 or 4 more picks for the Jets. I'm excited. 2 wide receivers still on the board. This is kind of that area, Miami, Rams, Baltimore, with the potential for them to take a wide receiver. So we'll see how it plays out. But there's a good chance that there's at least one of these guys on the board for us at 16. Gus, I would imagine so. I would say with David Bailey, maybe they don't necessarily double dip at edge, but if they got Reese, I could have seen it with like a front 7 player. But double dip at wide receiver, yeah. Take one at 16 and 103 or 33 and 103. I think I'd be okay with that. Especially if somebody falls to day 3, like Dejon Stribling or something like that. Yeah, watching Caleb Downs highlights is always fun. Every time I put on an Ohio State all 22 game, Caleb Downs was making plays. You're trying to watch Caden McDonald, and here comes Caleb Downs. Yeah, I'm sure Giants fans are going to be doing the same thing with Downs that Jets fans are doing with Reese, watching him in their division. For the Jets, it's obviously in their stadium. All right. Yeah, all the Ohio State guys off the board. That is what? 4 Ohio State guys off the board already in the top 11. Caden McDonald could make it 5. So I guess really none of the names that have gone in the top 12 or 11 are surprising. Maybe the order in which it happened, right? Fano over Malinoa, Reese falling to 5, Downs falling to 11, things like that. Cisco, are you tipping picks or are you speculating here? Because we're not tipping picks if that's the case. That would be crazy. I don't think they would do it. So I think you're speculating. Oh, no, it's real. Cisco, that's your one warning. No tipping picks. Miami pick is in. Clearly, it seems like the Rams pick is in. If that's true, Cisco, that's crazy. Here comes Goodell for Miami's pick. 220 of you guys in the room. Appreciate you all. Wow. Okay, now this is the first surprise of the draft. Caden Proctor to the Miami Dolphins. That, I'm not going to say it's an extreme reach, but oof. Oof. That's a bit of a reach. Still could obviously be a really good player. I saw the Saban quotes about Caden Proctor today. They did not come off as positive as Saban I think wanted them to. He basically said Caden Proctor is not a self starter in terms of motivation, but once he's in the building, he's all ball and he's good to go. But that makes me nervous for a guy who has weight issues. Yeah, I agree, Hawk. You got to protect Malik, so it makes sense. I just don't know. There might have been another offensive lineman I would have gone here instead, but yeah, it makes sense. I'll never be mad at teams for going trenches in the offensive line specifically. Probably the first surprise pick of the draft, though. All right. So, assuming what Cisco said in the chat is true about the Rams, the Jets have 2 picks before them with Cooper and Lemon still on the board. This is also Miami's first of 2 picks. So perhaps they feel like they can target a different position later at 30. Get the offensive tackle now before the run starts, or supposedly is going to start. So if what Cisco says about the Rams pick is true, the Jets are guaranteed to be able to select one of Lemon, Cooper, or Vanga Ioane. So we shall see. The Rams pick is in as they cut to commercial. But the Jets are coming up on the clock here, so I'm really excited to hear who this name is. Please just let it be Makai Lemon. Or Bane. That's true. They are guaranteed Bane as well. Yep. I keep forgetting about him. Thank you, Gypsy. I just anticipated him being gone by now. So if you told me on, I don't know, my birthday, which was March 16th, if you told me that Caden Proctor was going ahead of Ruben Bane, probably would have laughed at you. But here we are. Gus, don't you say that. They did lose Mike Evans, but I don't know. They have Ibuka, they have Godwin still. Maybe they go Lemon. They just go, trying to give offensive firepower for Baker. I would like to see them go like Akeem Mesidor or something at 15 to the Bucks. Sadiq is there too. Yeah, that'd be a good pick for LA. You're right. Gus said I'd be happy with Cooper. I would be too. I just could you get cute and try to trade down a couple picks to get him. I have him as my 19th ranked player. I just have Makai Lemon as my 5th. So bit of a drop off there between my wide receiver 1 and my wide receiver 4 in Cooper. But then there's a slightly bigger drop off from Cooper to Jeremy Bernard, who is my wide receiver 5. I think I have him down at like pick 26 or 27 on my board. So there's a bit of a drop off after Cooper as well. So, but I also think that they're going to be higher on Boston and possibly even KC Concepcion, more so than Jeremy Bernard. I hope they're not higher on Brazel than Jeremy Bernard, but that's also a possibility too. I think Brazel is like my wide receiver 8, whereas Bernard is my 5. Boston, Concepcion are 6th and 7th, and then Brazel is 8th. Trying to remember off the top of my head. So yeah, there's definitely a handful of guys that I think the Jets can come away with and make me really happy. Hopefully they don't go like Colton Hood or something like that with all these possible players still on the board. Looking at the Rams green room, or not the Rams green room, excuse me, just the overall green room. Ruben Bain sitting there. Doesn't look like he was on the phone. So LA might not be taking Ruben Bain. Cisco also potentially tipped the pick. So they just announced that Tampa is on the clock. So Rams pick is in, and Baltimore's pick is in. So Tampa on the clock at 15. Jets will be on the clock in about 5 or so minutes. Ian Rappaport saying Les Snead told Ty Simpson he is for sure a first-round pick. So could this be? This would be an amazing situation for the Rams. You get a first-round pick for Atlanta, from Atlanta, ends up being the 13th overall pick, and you can use that to go get your quarterback of the future behind Matt Stafford. This is like a top 3 landing spot for Ty Simpson, in my opinion. Let's see. Oh no, Cisco. Yeah, that's the only thing, M. Morris, is that the Rams are a Super Bowl like win now type of team. So is it worth taking Ty Simpson over Ruben Bain, Vega Ioane, Makai Lemon, Kenyan Sadiq, somebody who can help you to win like right away? We'll see. I wonder if this is the case, Hawk. Do they trade out of 16 because there are a handful of people there that they do like on the board and think they can get cute, but we shall see. Yeah, I'm with you here, Jets Rube. I'm with you. The Jets are going to get a really good player. They traded for Trent McDuffie, so I don't know how much they need a corner. And they also got the other corner from Kansas City in free agency. So I think they're set at corner. Rube wants offense. I think a lot of Jets fans at this point want offense. I wouldn't even be mad if they went offense their next 3 picks. I would not be mad at all. Goodell walking to the podium for the Rams selection. Is it Ty Simpson? Let's go. They freaking do. Holy shit. Ty Simpson is a Los Angeles Ram. Okay. First and foremost, happy for him, obviously. I am just excited that I get to actually root for Ty Simpson in the NFL. If he went to Miami, I would have had to hate him forever. But going to the Rams, going to the Cardinals, teams that don't really affect the Jets, like I'm actually excited I get to root for Ty Simpson in his career. I think this is a great landing spot for him. He's going to be a sponge behind Matthew Stafford. You have a ton of playmakers, God forbid. Matt Stafford gets hurt and Ty Simpson has to get them out of a game, maybe fill in for 2.5 games in the season for Stafford. I think he can do it. I think this is a really good spot for Ty Simpson. Obviously would have loved him for the Jets. Maybe the Jets didn't even feel that strongly about him to begin with. Doesn't matter at this point. Happy for him. Think this is a great spot. Sean McVay is going to, I don't know, man. Ty Simpson's going to be like a top half of the league player in 5 years. And all the people that hated him and said he couldn't do anything because he only had 15 starts. Man. Yeah, pour one out for Tank for Ty. But I'm excited. There we go. Throwing up the LA. I don't know. I think Ty Simpson's going to kill it. Really happy for him. Back-to-back Alabama players off the board. Caden Proctor and then Ty Simpson. Baltimore on the clock. I believe Tampa's pick is already in. So the Jets should technically be on the clock. Yeah, Billy, they're saying that right now on TV that if you even had to sit him for 2 years behind Stafford, it's still feasible. It's not a win now pick for the Rams. This is the first time I think you really see the Rams, you know, going for a pick for the future. But man, this is going to be fun. Ty Simpson is going to be a great NFL player. Yeah, I'm sure 103 is like the entry point where the Jets feel the best about going for quarterback. Obviously, they don't own a third round pick, and please don't take any of these guys at 44. But we'll see. I don't want Drew Hour though. I don't feel really confident enough in any of these guys to step in and play, be one injury away from having to play. So you still have to sign a quarterback too. I think this is going to happen, Grinch. I don't think Mekhi Lemon's going at either of these picks. Yeah, dude. Simpson's going to kill it. Talking about his dad coaching and mentoring him. Dude, he's going to throw to Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Higbee, Ferguson. You got Kyron in the backfield. This is a good landing spot for him. They certainly have a dummy-proofed offense for Ty Simpson. That's awesome. Grinch, man. I don't even want to think about this. It could happen, Rube, but I think the Jets are already on the clock. I think they're a little bit behind here. I think Tampa Bay's pick is already in. 227 of you guys in the room. Hit the like button, subscribe if you are new to the channel. We are in the middle of our Curtis Martin mini helmet giveaway. $5 super chats are now worth 2 tonight. $10 super chats are worth 4. Gifted memberships are now doubled and worth 2 on the wheel. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. It's the first ever draft watch along that I've been able to do on my channel. So really excited to sit here and hang out with you guys. Here's Goodell with the Ravens pick. Yeah. The most Ravens pick of all Ravens picks, Olajuwon Yuwane, is a Baltimore Raven. Had to be done. The slide needed to stop for the Penn State guard. Hell yeah. Cisco Lopez gifting 5 memberships to the A1 since day one community. Thank you so much, Cisco. You are now in the raffle for 10 more gifted entries. Cisco already owning the most entries on the wheel just by looking at all the entries here now. All right, 10 more for Cisco. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Hell yeah, Cisco. I appreciate you so much. Cisco owns probably 35% of this wheel. Certainly very appreciative of you, Cisco. Thank you. If you got your membership from Cisco, please make sure to shout them out in the chat. And of course, I opened a new tab, so my stream had to crash. They got to fix that. They're going to commercial, but the Bucks pick is in. That means the New York Jets are on the clock. I'm fired up for this one. Lot of good players on the board. Holy shit. If they take Ruben Bain, the Bucks got to take Ruben Bain, right? I'm not that high. The Bucks got to take Ruben Bain, right? If they were going to take Akeem Mesidor, right? If that was like the heavily mocked pick to them, like you take Ruben Bain. That's crazy. Ruben Bain, if he is there naturally at 16 for the Jets. Holy shit. Grinch, stop saying stuff like this, dude. Putting bad juju in there. Hell yeah. Yeah, Cisco, my upstate South Carolinian brother. Appreciate you, bro. Chew, I'm with you. I'm with you guys. 100%. Bane or Lemon, one of the two. Bane or Lemon, which means it's going to be Colton fucking Hood. Like, oh, the Jets. I need this pick to happen. I need this pick to happen so we can just analyze it and stop stressing about it. This is the love of the draft. Sweating out picks in real time. Doing the math to find out if your guy is going to fall to you or not. Alrighty here. Villette, I hope it's not Falk. Not with Bane on the board. Yes, Gypsy. Yes, 100%. All right, who's left? Just looking at my big board. Makai Lemon, Ruben Bain, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, Akeem Mesidor, Dylan Thieneman, Omar Cooper, Kenyan Sadiq, TJ Parker, Caden McDonald, CJ Allen, and then we're really into like the second round guys. So Boston, Concepcion, Bernard, Emmanuel Pregnon, Peter Woods, Jermod McCoy, I don't think is on the Jets board, but he's like a second round guy with his injuries. Yeah, Thunder. They're so far behind at this point. I think they're gonna find a happy medium where the NFL can get through the picks, get all their fucking commercials in, because that's all it's about is slotting in the commercials. Daniel Jeremiah's big board of remaining players: Bain, Lemon, Sadiq, EMW, Thieneman, Cooper, McCoy, Blake Miller, Colton Hood, Monroe Freeling. So many players I think the Jets would select. Tampa's pick is officially in. Should be seeing Goodell walking up to the podium momentarily. Yeah, you can't rule it out, Billy. I don't think they would go Sadiq knowing what the board looks like here with Lemon or Cooper on the board and how much homework they've done at the wide receiver position. But I can't rule it out, right? I don't know. I don't know if stylistically the Jets want to run that type of offense with that heavy 12 personnel. I think Frank Reich really likes his 11 personnel, so 3 wide receivers. But Sadiq is basically a wide receiver with a tight end name, you know? So he's going to be like your power slot. You'll have him, Garrett, and AD on the field with Mason Taylor. It's technically 12 personnel, but it looks like 11 personnel in the way that they run it. Wow, I don't know if they would go 2 wide receivers in the first round, especially if they had to trade back up to get the second one. But I mean, yeah, get Lemon, double up at wide receiver. I just don't know if they need to go 2 wide receivers that early. Like 16 and 33 or 16 and 44, I think is a little too over allocating of resources. But I'm never going to complain if you're just trying to throw out the best playmakers on the field and score points on offense, right? I'm not going to poo-poo that strategy. Gypsy, I wonder, that's the thing, right? My plan is to not stay on for the entire draft. Here's Goodell with the pick. Yep, they get Ruben Bain, so that makes a ton of sense for them. I don't know why they would pass up on him at this point. So Yeah, I didn't think he would be here. Mesidor felt like the pick. But my plan is to not stay on for the entire draft. I do have work tomorrow morning. I have to get up at a little after 6. And I'm doing the whole show tomorrow with Jake. So also trying to save my voice for 4 to 5 hours of streaming tomorrow night. Come check us out on Jake's channel, starting as soon as the draft starts. Jets are on the clock at 16. I want Mekhi Lemon. My wide receiver 1, my 5th player on my overall big board. The only guy in my top 10 remaining on the board. The next highest player is Emmanuel McNeil-Warren at 14 on my list. Mesidor at 17, which I don't think they're going to take. Thieneman at 18. Cooper Jr. at 19. I mean, come on. Wait a second. Did the Jets trade out? Or are they on the clock at 17? Did the Jets just trade out at 16? I don't want to look at Twitter. That would be crazy if the Jets traded back. Okay, Cisco sees us on the clock. Perhaps Cleveland traded up to 17. Oh. Thunder. Golly. I misinterpreted the fuck out of your comment. Holy shit. I was like, what is he talking about? Okay. Jets pick is in. We're still on the clock. Have another toke deal. All right. Back on track. Jets at 16. Wouldn't have been surprised, though, right? Cleveland is a spot where I thought they could have traded back to 24. Oh, man. Come on. If this is not Mekhi Lemon, you're good, Thunder. No, dude, it's not you. It's me. It's not you. It's me. Mekhi Lemon, I mean, Omar Cooper is fine. Like, Omar Cooper, like, it's like the slightly less happy version of what just happened at 2, right? I wanted Arvell Reese. They took David Bailey. I want Mekhi Lemon. They take Omar Cooper. I'd be a lot less happy about Cooper than I am about Bailey. Like, I'm still very happy about Bailey. And I think he's still going to be a great player. But the difference between Mekhi Lemon and Omar Cooper to me is so big compared to the difference between Reese and Bailey. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Thunder. Like, that would just be silly. The pick is in. Let's go. Pittsburgh is lit up green. Everybody's clapping, smiling in the war room. Frank Reich is clapping. Woody's clapping. Christopher looks like he's on the phone with the prospect. Did Brick just hand him that fucking phone? Maybe he got the phone from AG. Yeah, he got the phone from AG. I was going to say, no way Brick just handed Christopher Johnson the phone. Who's he talking to? Looks like he's talking to Jay Mandolesi, scouting department. Here's Lou B and the boys, Boy Green. Is it Juicy Jet also here? All right. Lou B's got the eye paint on like he's about to go in the game. I freaking love it. Shout out to Lou B. Here comes Goodell walking out to the podium. He's pointing to the Jets fans. Looks like he's pointing right at Lou B and the boys. Come on. Second first round pick. The pick is Kenyan Sadiq. Holy shit. All right. Don't hate the player. Very surprised by the pick. Very surprised by the pick. That's crazy. All right. So, oh, now he's getting the Dustin Keller comps from Daniel Jeremiah. Explosive athlete. I think he ran like a 4.3 something. I'm watching him hurdle over defenders right now, running wheel routes against linebackers. They just have no fucking chance against Kenyan Sadiq. I am just very intrigued on how this Jets offense is going to look, because now you have a first round tight end and a 42nd overall tight end in Mason Taylor. You're going to have these guys on the field a ton. And like I said, he's kind of like a power slot receiver. He is not, a fantastic blocker. When he's on the move, he's a great blocker. He's going to spring Breece Hall on a couple runs that we just go like, damn, Sadiq bowled that guy over and then kept stride for stride with Breece Hall running down the field. So I totally see the vision. I'm very intrigued to see what this offense is going to look like now with Kenyan Sadiq. I don't know if I'd go this far, Gypsy, with saying he's Brandon Marshall, but I mean, the physicality, like, he's probably somewhere between a Nunwa and Brandon Marshall, in my opinion. Yes, 100% DNA. Kenyan Sadiq is somebody who can play on the boundary. You can put Garrett on the inside. You can try to get him to match up with corners where he just has like a huge height advantage. Like, hypothetically, you're playing, I think the Detroit Lions still have DJ Reed. If you're going up against a 5'9" perimeter corner and they're playing zone coverage, you could probably throw a tight end out there and, match him up against a 5'9", 5'10" corner and just have him go up and get it. So, yeah, he can play on the outside. M. Morris says it too. Fullback, tight end, slot. Do I have any clips of Kenyan Sadiq here? I might have to go find some. No, I don't. Oh, I do. Sweet. I have two clips of Kenyan Sadiq. Thank God. See, this is why you pull clips while you're watching the film live. It takes a lot longer for me to get through my process when I'm clipping out plays in real time for watching a prospect. But I thank myself when this stuff happens and I have Kenyan Sadiq film that we can pull up right away for the fine folks in the chat. Let's see. Let's back it up. Kenyan Sadiq looks like he's right here, left side of the formation against Northwestern. Yeah, he's pulling in space. Boom. Takes on a blocker, gets a shoulder on another blocker, and springs the running back for a huge touchdown. We'll see it from the end zone angle here as well. 18, he just came in motion right here, attached to the left side of the offensive line. He's going to come across, sniffer motion. He's going to get a little piece of this guy off the edge. Boom, gets him off, springs the running back, and now watch. Climbs up to the second level, boom, gets a shoulder, and just enough. Just got enough of the defender here to spring the running back. Like, I'm picturing Breece Hall doing these things right behind Kenyan Sadiq as I'm watching this. So that is the first one of Kenyan Sadiq that I have. I only have 2 clips, so I'll have to go get more Kenyan Sadiq clips for the good people. But here is him as a pass catcher running the seam route. I believe he's in the right-hand slot here. So again, he's going to be operating from not always attached to the line of scrimmage, moving out in space, power slot type of player. He's running the numbers. Little stutter here. Boom. Goes up and gets it. So we'll pull it back from this angle before we show the end zone angle. I like this from Sadiq here because I think he is like a hot route potentially, where if there's pressure off that side, he's going to turn and look right away to get the ball. But as soon as he clears this second level defender, he's going to want to look back for the ball, because as soon as this guy is not technically in the picture, he just has to win against this guy, and Dante Moore has to put the ball where the free safety over the top can't get it. So boom, he stutters, knows he's past the second level, turns and looks, goes up and gets it, high point back shoulder for the touchdown. I don't have it from the end zone angle. That's upsetting. But I like this right here. Boom, hesitates, gets that. I believe that's the safety buzzing down. He gets him to step and commit, gets right past, eyes on quarterback. Big touchdown, big back shoulder for Kenyan Sadiq. So I'll work on getting a couple more clips together for the Kenyan Sadiq film, of course, but just a quick look at what Sadiq can do. Now you have Garrett, you have AD, Sadiq, Brees, Mason Taylor, hopefully Braylon Allen when he's healthy. Geno has a plethora of weapons. They're not, it's not top 5 in terms of playmakers in the league, but a little bum they passed on Mekhi Lemon for a tight end here, but this is really intriguing. I just want to see what the defense looks like, what the offense looks like now that Bailey and Sadiq are added into the fold. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the 2 picks. Probably going to hang out until maybe pick 20. So we'll say about 15 or 20 minutes left to go. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Over 230 of you guys in the room across Twitter and YouTube. I know there is so much content out there for everybody to stream, so I appreciate anybody giving me a little bit of their time on this Thursday evening as we watch round 1 of the 2026 NFL Draft. And we have Easton, a Make-A-Wish kid, announcing the 17th overall pick. And they get Blake Miller, the tackle from Clemson. So at this point, do we think the Jets are going to trade back in? See, this is it. If they trade up for Mekhi Lemon or Omar Cooper Jr., man, that would be great. Billy, yes, some did. And I was not one of them, but I always understood Kenyan Sadiq being an option for the Jets. Again, it's not my preference. It's similar to Reese and Bailey. They got 2 guys that I technically don't prefer, especially knowing what the board looked like. But yeah, man, let's package 33 and something to get back in. That would be fantastic if they could pull that off, get 3 first-round picks. The thing is, if I do end the stream and then they come back into the first round, I'm debating coming back in for an emergency live session real quick to talk about the player. If it's Mekhi Lemon, I am 100% going to do that. So if you click off when we're done here and then they get Mekhi Lemon, know that I'm going to be back live and I'm going to be wearing a USC shirt and I'm going to be ecstatic, absolutely ecstatic if they come back in for Mekhi Lemon. If they do it from Omar Cooper Jr., we'll probably still go live, but we won't be as excited. Yeah, if you told me Ruben Bain was going at 15, if you told me Caden Proctor went before Ruben Bain, and then you told me Mekhi Lemon could have been had at, let's just say, pick 21 with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I would not have believed you. Wow, Caleb Banks is still a first-round player as he is off the board at 18 to the Minnesota Vikings. So they fill in a position that they kind of tore down a little bit, right? They traded us Harrison Phillips. They have a couple guys, I believe, that left in free agency, a couple guys that they didn't want to pay. But now they have a new defensive tackle in the middle of that defense for Brian Flores. Thought they were going to go offense here. Thought they might have even gone Dylan Thieneman, but Caleb Banks to the Minnesota Vikings. It's hilarious now that the Jets pick happened. It feels like the draft is going a lot faster. Yeah, Rube, you kind of summed it up perfectly. I'm happy with the pick. Understand the pick. Would have preferred Lemon. There's still a chance they could get Lemon. Still a chance they get Cooper, right? We have to see what they look like at 33. If Muji and AG go live for their press conference, right? If we get the notification that press conference is live, that means they're done for the night. They're not coming back in. Oh, that would be a really good pick for them. You get Tet, you get Coker, you have Leggett, who's okay. and then you add Mekhi Lemon to that, that would be fun. Yes, this is a really good point here by Black Gypsy that Sadiq has to be accounted for. He's a bit of a numbers changer, right? Because if you can tap into his blocking potential and really upgrade him at this point, right? And he can become an inline blocker to add on to the playmaking pass catching ability that he already has, then you are really scary in 12 personnel, but could look like 11 personnel. You could have Ruckert in and it's 13 personnel, but looks like 12. Like this is a bit of a numbers changer in a very positive way for the Jets. I kept saying all off season, emulate the Los Angeles Rams. We know they are not the Los Angeles Rams, but do things that if you ask yourself, would the Rams do this? And the answer is yes. That's probably an approach you should take for your franchise as well. I think Sadiq helps in this way because now you can look very multiple on offense without giving away state secrets. Like we knew last year, if Justin Fields was under center, there was like a 97 whatever percent chance that it was a play action or a run. They never did like true dropbacks from under center with Justin Fields. Like they were so predictable in that aspect and a couple other aspects as well. Now Sadiq gives you that like unpredictability on your offense where is he a blocker this play? Is he a pass catcher this play? You have to account with, do you put a linebacker, a safety, a corner? How do you match up? Do you go nickel when the Jets do this look? Whereas like Mekhi Lemon, you know they're going to be 11 personnel versus nickel defense, right? Whether it's 4-2-5 or whatever. You know a nickel defender is going to be on Mekhi Lemon. What do you do with Kenyan Sadiq? So definitely a good point here. If Brees Hall likes the pick, I'm happy. Maybe Brees just saw the clip I just played of Kenyan Sadiq blocking for that running back there and bringing the touchdown because I truly envisioned Brees Hall when I watched that play. I said Brees can get to the edge like that. He can be patient behind his block, and he can spring one for a 70-yard touchdown. Black Gypsy, yes. Block and release with Sadiq. Get him to just chip, get a left or right shoulder on the end man line of scrimmage, bump him up to the second level and go. He's going to run faster than linebackers. He's, going to be a really good zone, red zone threat specifically for Geno Smith. But imagine trying to man up the Jets offense right now. Like Garrett Wilson is hard to single cover. A.D. Mitchell, even guys like Surtain and J.C. Horn talk about how well of a route runner with his release package A.D. Mitchell is, and he's got burners to go down the field. Brees is hard to block or cover man-to-man out of the backfield. Now you have Sadiq as well. It's going to be hard to play man coverage against the Jets. And you have Geno, who is like a competent enough point guard to facilitate the rock and get it to all the guys. Like there's not going to be just one guy barely breaking 400 yards for the Jets this year. Like we're going to probably have at least one 1,000-yard guy in Garrett and then a couple over 500 guys just based on Geno's history. He throws the rock way too much. He accumulates yards, and we have a handful of guys now that can, be really good. Yeah, if these are your 5 skill position players on the field, Brees, Garrett, Sadiq, Taylor, and Mitchell. It's hard to play one-on-one coverage with that. And if you just add one more receiver, like Gypsy says, Cooper Jr., Jeremy Bernard, yeah. The Panthers get Monroe Freeling, offensive lineman, so they override the wide receiver pick, which would have made sense too, but offensive line is usually the way to go in the first round if you are in need of any position, really. And I believe Ika Mekwanu was hurt for a while. I think he got hurt late in the season, so yeah, Taylor, that makes sense too. Casey Concepcion is another one at 33. Him, Boston, Cooper, Lemon, all still on the board. Brazel, Bernard, Skylar Bell, Chris Bell. But the Jets have one pass catcher and one edge rusher. Yeah, I would be on the phone if I'm Muji trying to trade up. Like Philadelphia, there's obviously the rumors that A.J. Brown could be on the move back to Tennessee. We'll see what they do. If they want to take a wide receiver, they probably go offensive line if I had to guess. Oh, the Cowboys just traded out of 20 with the Eagles. Okay, that's how they're on the clock. Holy shit, that makes sense. So an interdivision trade, and the Eagles are on the clock here at 20. So the Cowboys trade up 1 pick, and then they trade back 3 picks in the first round. There it is. The Eagles got a real one. Mekhi Lemon to the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a bummer. But I pseudo root for the Eagles because I have a Jalen Hurts rookie autograph card that is earning me tons of money on my investment. So giving him somebody like Mekhi Lemon, that's a crazy pick for the Eagles. That's an easy pick for the Eagles. So the Jets are probably not trading up. Let's see. Let's see. Holy crap. So the Eagles trade for Dontavian Wicks, and then they trade up 3 picks to get Mekhi Lemon. A.J. Brown, probably gone. If not this year, certainly next year. This is a huge pick for the Eagles. This is going to be crazy. Devontae Smith, Mekhi Lemon, Wicks. Hey. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait for Pittsburgh's pick to come down. I just want to see the hometown pick at 21. I don't think the Jets are trading up. So we are going to end the stream there. A little over an hour. We got one more pick to go. Thank you all for tuning in. 230 of you guys still in the room. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I know for sure we will be back Tuesday night with Will Parkinson. I believe we'll have Buffalo Jet Fan on Monday, back in our normal routine. And then some pre-recorded stuff. I'll start the film dive on David Bailey and Kenyan Sadiq. Oh, yeah. Mekhi Lemon. I think he's between him and Ty Simpson. I think they're my 2 favorite landing spots. Muji overstayed his welcome. I don't know if I could, go that far. I mean, we got to see how it works out, obviously. Again, they're just because they're not picks that I would have made does not mean that they're bad picks. Maybe that's sounding like a bit of a homer to a degree, but I also just want to hear what their plan is for these players before I just, throw my hands up and say screw it. Yeah. I'm not a Jalen Hurts apologist, but it is pretty damning some of the reports that come out that say like he doesn't want to run certain things in his offense and things like that. Not a good look. All right, let's see who the Steelers take, and then we're gonna hop out of here. Taylor, we'll see. I think the film will show different, and I think these guys are going to surprise some Jets fans. See, I'm the opposite, Bill. I think I'm a little bit more disappointed or like, Lemon over Sadiq was my thinking, whereas Bailey and Reese, like I was okay with either. So I like the picks regardless. Gypsy, I'm happy that you love something that this team is doing. Hopefully Frank Reich doesn't ruin the kid for you. But I'm glad that something positive is happening for you with this team because I know you've been pretty down on them, and I mean, obviously, rightfully so. Oh, they're going crazy in Pittsburgh. Who do we think Pittsburgh selects? Do they go offensive line? I feel like they're gonna make like a weird kind of surprise pick here. Yeah, that would be a good one. I would like Cooper here. I think whoever their quarterback is would enjoy Omar Cooper. Yeah, 100% Jets Rube. I'm with you here. And that's why, like watching these guys, I actually like you grow more fond of different options in the draft. And you're like, okay, wow. Well, when I saw that on film, absolutely, uh, absolutely liked what I saw. And that's how I felt with Sadiq. Yeah, I'm with you, Cisco. My mom used to always play this song in the car. I remember it. Like it's kind of shitty that it's like the Steelers song, but whatever. They can have it, I guess. We have oh my god. What is the damn ACDC song that they always play at the stadium that is just like overstayed its welcome at MetLife? Thunderstruck. Jeez, yeah. It's like that. These franchises just like adopt a song and all of a sudden like don't the Buffalo Bills also sing a song going into the fourth quarter? So, all right. I didn't think the pick was going to take this long. That Eagles guy looks either diabolically drunk in the first row or he dropped something over the railing and he's trying to reach it. But he might have been violently drunk. Iowa Jets. This is a really good point. Some of the like freaks of the draft are certainly Downs, Reese, and then people are obviously still talking about Styles, but Sadiq was in this category, 100%. Bill, this is going to be a nasty front seven for the Giants, and they got better in the offensive trenches too in Maui Noah. Yeah, but Billy, I think his alignment is going to like be viewed more as like a slot receiver than it is going to be a tight end. So like maybe this hurts Mason Taylor a little bit because he's more of like your traditional tight end with like the route concepts that he'll be running. But I think Sadiq is going to be running uh, more traditional like wide receiver route stuff. Yeah, I figured he would, Cisco. Oh, the Steelers go tackle with Ionichor. All right. Offensive tackle, Arizona State off the board to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not much of a surprise, a bit of a project guy, but Steelers need help. Broderick Jones isn't really that great. I forget who their right tackle is. I think it's Fatanu. So Ionichor comes in. He's got a chance to compete for a starting spot. That man's whole ass is out. Jesus Christ. Pull your pants up, my boy. Um, with that, though, we are going to end it. Little over 2 hours, 235 of you guys still in the room. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in for the first DT live draft stream. Thank you all so much. Hit the like button on your way out. One more time, subscribe if you are new. DT signing out saying, check us out tomorrow night on Jake's channel. Gonna see if we're gonna simul stream it to my channel as well. If the Jets trade up, depending on who it is, we'll be back. But if not, I will catch you all tomorrow. Until next time, Jets, 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 Jets. Let's go, guys.